Good morning, students. In the previous video, we discussed the basic terms of the solutions like molarity, molality, mole fraction, mass percentage, etc. Today, in this video, we will learn the properties of the binary solutions. Here, we will consider the three binary solutions. First type. In this we will discuss one by one. First type of the solution in which the solute is in solid state and the solvent is in liquid state. So we can obviously say that the state of the binary solution will be the liquid state. Okay. For this we can take the example of the solution of the salt and water. Salt behaves like the solute and the solvent is the water. Now suppose we start to dissolve the salt in this solvent. So initially what will happen? Initially it will dissolve. Which process is taking place, and this process is known as the process of dissolution. Okay, initially the rate of the process of dissolution is the first state. Okay, now we add some more salt in the same amount of the solvent. Again, after stirring, it will dissolve in the solvent, but this time definitely it will take some more time in the dissolution. Why? Because now another process also starts, and this is a reverse process, and this is known as the process of the precipitation. Okay. Now if we want to add some more and more solute, more and more salt to the same amount of the solvent, so ultimately we will reach a condition, we will reach to a state in which we will be in position that no more solute, no more salt can be added to this solution. If we want to add some more solute, more salt in this state, that will precipitate out and it will deposit at the bottom of the solution. Okay, this time the solution is called saturated solution. Okay, whatever the concentration, whatever the quantity dissolved in this saturated solution is called the solubility of that solute at that temperature and in that certain amount of the solvent. This time there is no visible change in the solution, but both process, the process of dissolution and the process of precipitation, both proceeds with the same rate. Okay, this process of dissolution is taking place as well as this process of precipitation is also taking place. This state is called the state of the dynamic equilibrium. Okay. Now we will learn the effect of two factors, that is temperature and pressure, upon the solubility of the solid solute in the liquid solvent. Okay. Now first of all we will discuss the effect of the temperature upon the solubility. So regarding the temperature, we should know whether the reaction is endothermic or exothermic. If the reaction is endothermic, then on increase the temperature, the solubility of the solute will increase. Okay. And if the reaction is exothermic, definitely on the increase of the temperature, the solubility of the solute will decrease. Okay. Now we will discuss the property of the second type of solution in which the solute is in gaseous state and the solvent is in liquid state. Okay. Now for this we will have to take the closed chamber, closed container. Suppose this is container and in this some solvent is filled and some amount of gas is also filled. Okay. So in this type of solution there are two layers. The upper layer is formed by the gaseous solute and the lower layer is formed by the liquid solvent. This gas exerts a pressure upon the surface of the solution. Regarding this pressure exerted by the gaseous solute upon the surface of the solution is denoted by the Henry's law. According to this Henry law, the pressure exerted by the surface of the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction present in the solution. कहने का मतलब ये है कि if more pressure is exerted by the gas, then the more amount of the gaseous solute will dissolve in the solution. In this way we can say the pressure P is directly proportional to the mole fraction, that suppose it is Xa. On removing the sign of the proportionality, P equal to Kh Xa. This Kh is called Henry's constant. Okay. Now this Xa is the mole fraction. There is no any unit of this one. So the unit of this Henry's constant Kh is equal to the units of the pressure. Now what is the relationship in between the Kh and Xa? If the value of Kh is more, then the solubility of the gas will be less, and if the solubility of the gas is more, then the value of the Kh will be less. Okay. Now we will discuss the properties of the solution, which is third type, in which the both solute and the solvent are in liquid state. Regarding this solution, the Raoult's law will be discussed here. Suppose we take the mixture of, we take the solution in which the liquid one is solvent and liquid 2 is solute. Okay. Regarding this solution, the Raoult's law says that the partial vapor pressure of the component 1 and component 2 is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution. So P1 is directly proportional to X1, where P1 is the vapor pressure of the solvent and X1 is the mole fraction of the solvent. On removing the sign of proportionality, this is P01 X1. Okay. That is equation number 1. This P01 is the constant and this P01 is the vapor pressure of the solvent in pure state. Similarly, the Raoult's law may be applied for solute also. So P2 is equal to P0 to X2. Equation number 2, in which the partial vapor pressure of the solute is directly proportional to its mole fraction, that is X2, and on removing the sign of the proportionality, P2 equal to P02 X2. This P02 is the vapor pressure of the solute in pure state. Okay. Now again Raoult's law also says that the total vapor pressure of the solution will be equal to the sum of the partial vapor pressures of the liquid 1 and the liquid 2. So in this way we can write here let Pt is the value of total vapor pressure. It will be written equal to P1 plus P2. Now using equation 1 and 2 we will write the values of the P1 and P2. P01 x1 plus P02 x2. Okay. Now since we know that the binary solution only there are two components. The sum of the mole fractions x1 plus x2 is 1. So x1 may be written in terms of x2 or x2 may be written in terms of the x1. We write here, I am going to write x1 in terms of x2. So this may be written P01 into 1 minus x2 plus P02 x2, or this may be written in P01 minus P01 x2 plus P02 x2, or this may be P01 plus P02 minus P01 x2. So this is the expression for the total pressure of the solution containing two volatile liquids. Here liquids named solvent and solute 1 and 2. So Pt is equal to P01 plus the difference of the P02 and P01 multiplied by H2. Okay. If we draw the graph, it would be the mole fraction of the liquid A and B. So this may be like this. Suppose here x1 equals to 0 and x2 is 1, and here x1 equal to 1 and x2 equals to 0, and here this is the pressure axis. In this way we can say x1 is 0 means here at this point the mole fraction of the liquid A is 0, means here only the solute is present. When we go in this way, the value of x1 increases, simultaneously the value of x2 decreases. Here when we reach at this point the value of x1 is maximum. x1 is the mole fraction of the solvent, means here only solvent is present, and x2 is 0 means no solute is present. Okay. So suppose this is a graph like this. This graph shows the P1 equal to P01 x1. Here the partial pressure of the solvent is increasing in this way, P1 equal to P01 x1. When it reaches here, it becomes equal, because here x1 is 1, so P1 is equal to P01. This is P01. Okay. And suppose this is the graph which represents the partial vapor pressure of the volatile liquid P2, or that is the solute here, P02 H2. Okay. And the total vapor pressure is represented by this one, Pt equal to P1 plus P2, that is P01 x1 plus P02 x2. Okay. So if a solution, if there is a binary solution which obey this graph, or you can say the binary solution which obeys the Raoult's law, is called the ideal solution. Okay, thank you.